Welcome back to Tea or Coffee on High Impact Television. Now, before we went on that break, I did tell you that we'll be having a guest in the house. And today, we'll be talking about criminal litigation. What do you know about criminal litigation? We have a legal practitioner in the house, but Modukpe would introduce the guests.
Okay, yes, we have Barrister Kemfon in the house, and he is a legal practitioner, as you have said. You're welcome to the show.
Thank you, Modukwe.
Welcome.
Yes.
Okay, so let's go straight.
Yes, into criminal litigation. And Mr. Kemfon, what is criminal litigation in layman's language, and professionally, what is criminal litigation?
Well, basically, criminal litigation is the state procedure to ensure justice for persons who have offended the law of the land. The reason is this: if I hurt you and the state leaves that justice for you to take, that would mean that we'll be at war against each other. So we all leave our powers, our grievances to the state, in this case the government, who will proceed to seek vengeance technically on your behalf. That way, when the person is put through that system, the intention is that the person the intention is that at the end, that the person will take responsibility for what he did, not just against you, but against the state, because the state is interested that everybody should be orderly. Okay. And then also that will create an opportunity for the person to be reformed.
Okay. Right.
So that way, I don't go about looking for my own gun to chase after the armed robber who came to my streets. I trust the institution of the state to do that on our behalf.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so I think before this time, I don't know, before this time, I don't think criminal litigation was so, the way it is now, it wasn't like this before this time. So could we talk about what led to, because right now I think Nigerians have begun to embrace this aspect of the law, criminal litigation. So can we talk about what led to criminal litigation? Can we talk about that?
Well, I would think that criminal litigation is indeed even one of the oldest areas of law. Because deviant behaviors is peculiar to human beings. And right from the beginning of civilization, there has been a system where people who go against the norm of the society are sanctioned, even in our traditional African culture.
Okay.
If you take what does not belong to you, there is a system to discipline you. If you insult somebody, there is a discipline to discipline you.
In fact, traditionally,
it goes to civilization. I mean, when I say civilization, I'm not really talking about even the one our colonial masters gave us. We had a system of, we had a system, our cultural system to check behaviors. You understand? So it goes, in fact, criminal litigation is, I think, one of the oldest areas of law. Even before we started having civil rights, maritime law, insurance, and all of this, humans have always been going against collective laws. And there's always, even in the family, a system to discipline anybody who goes against the path.
So it's basically a system to discipline whoever goes against.
Of course, but we discovered too that we cannot continue to discipline for discipline's sake. So the intention too, I must reiterate, is to also reform.
Okay.
But of course, that has been a very challenging objective here in Nigeria. Because we are saying, when you go through that system, you should come back a better person.
A better person.
Yes.
Okay, so before I go into the next question, the phone line is open and you can call us to ask your question and contribute. The number is +234 7051 432258. Okay, now I'm talking about criminal litigation. Who should be present in a criminal litigation case?
Yes, the most important, in fact, we cannot talk about a criminal litigation case if the accused is not in court.
Present. Okay.
The accused is not in court. Once the plea has been taken and the court has taken jurisdiction of that case, from that time till judgment, the accused must be in court. Of course, there are a few exceptions where the court forms the opinion that it is that this person can be excused because of maybe high propensity to violence, and but generally the accused must be present, and it must be open court. By that, the public, any member of the public who is interested in that case should be able to walk in. In fact, it can become an issue itself if a criminal trial is done in secret.
Okay.
Oh.
Yes, so it must be in the public.
In public.
Yes, so that reasonable members of the society can say, well, this person got justice.
So what if the accused dies before
Then
the
that
deal?
marks the end of the case.
So the case.
Oh.
You want to convict, the purpose, remember, is to discipline and to reform. So when the person dies, those two objectives can no longer be attained.
Okay. Should any member of the media at least be there
part
to
of
cover the case?
Yes, but you know, the media, of course, do follow up, particularly the high-profile criminal cases. Yes. So, but of course, you know that it's not part of our practice for there to be cameras in courtroom.
Sure.
So,
Yes.
yes, and it's also not very nice to make an analysis of what is pending in court.
Okay.
But as a general news item, of course, no problem.
Okay.
And when judgment is given, the public can look into it and analyze it, depending when it is appealed.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So let's talk about the differences between civil and criminal
Criminal law.
litigation. What are the
I
differences?
said criminal law.
Using very lay terms, I'll give you an example now.
Okay.
There is what we call criminal assault.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, an individual is manhandled by another individual. There are two options open to him.
Yeah.
He can go to the police and report. By reporting to the police, he has activated or invoked the institution of the state, because the state is interested that citizens should not go about molesting other citizens. So the state will go after the person, you know, the assaulter, pick the assaulter, prosecute him, and convict him one way or the other. By that, there's a state vengeance. That person takes punishment for what he did to the other person. In this case, it is the state against the accused.
The accused.
And at the end, there's nothing monetary coming to the person, the victim. The victim will basically more or less come in to testify as a witness. And the person will go serve a prison term. That is on one hand.
Okay.
The other option open to the victim, maybe to take this person to court for battery. Get to the hospital, I was treated for social amount of money, I was treated for this. As a result of the battery, I suffered severe headache. As a result of the battery, I could not go to work, so I missed so much money. And take the person to court. The intention now, you know, is not to punish the person, in quote, but to recover his losses, damages. So at the end of, in that particular one, the state is not interested, but apart from providing a forum for him to ventilate his grievances.
Okay.
And the objective is that at the end, he will make money from the person who assaulted him. So it's a two-way traffic. You can take both, and you can take either.
Okay.
So criminal litigation is the one which the state is invoked to go through the process, you know, of activating, or go through the process of disciplining the person.
Okay.
Civil litigation is that private is the private effort by the victim to recover damages, you know, for the loss he suffered as a result of the assault.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. The phone line is still on, and you can join in on the conversation. +234 7051 432258. Now, in a criminal litigation case, is one, allowed to have a legal representative?
Oh, yes. It is indeed constitutional.
Okay.
Every Nigerian who is brought before the court is entitled to, get a lawyer of his choice. But of course, it is not compulsory. In some cases, you can as well do your matter yourself. You can defend yourself, but you are constitutionally entitled to a legal practitioner of your choice. However, there are cases where the person must be represented by a counsel. Every matter that is any offense that is punishable by death, what we call it capital offenses. For example, murder, the law says this person must be represented by counsel. The law is interested in ensuring that there is no vacuum for you because of the punishment that awaits you at the end. So even where there are instances where a lot of accused persons cannot afford legal representation, the court is entitled to appoint lawyers from the bar to represent the person or refer the matter to the legal aid counsel. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So I want to talk about rights, right?
Okay.
Yeah. What are my rights when I'm subjected to criminal litigations?
First of all, which is the most important part, like I said, when a person you have a right to fair hearing. Very important. Fair hearing. And that means you have the right to be represented by a counselor of your choice. But of course, when I say counselor of your choice, it must mean that this lawyer must be qualified to practice in Nigeria. You cannot say counselor of your choice and you go to some country somewhere to get a lawyer who is not qualified to practice in Nigeria. The court will tell you, well, exercise your right within Nigeria. You understand?
Yeah.
Yes, that is one option. You have to be brought to court before reasonable time, as defined within the Constitution. You cannot, a person cannot be arrested and kept in prison or in police custody for as long as they like. You are required to be informed of your offense. It's a right that you've been arrested for social purpose.
Okay.
And you must be taken to court within 48 hours, not more than 48 hours. You are entitled to this thing. You are indeed even entitled to bail. And bail is free. Except
not in Nigeria.
Well, except where the police or the prosecuting agency are able to bring you before a court within the expected constitutional timeline.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Now, sorry to interrupt you. I want to ask.
I must add, you are entitled to all the materials that the prosecution has against you.
Okay, that includes the evidence,
the statements. You must know what you are going to meet in court.
Okay.
It cannot spring surprises. Whatever is to be used against you must be given you. You must see it. Yes.
So what happens when the person decides to drop the charges?
Which person?
Not the accused. When the
victim.
The victim, yeah.
Technically, the victim cannot drop the charges because it is not his case.
Okay.
Technically, right? It's the state against the accused. So technically, the victim cannot drop the charges because once, in fact, the prosecuting agencies have all necessary materials, to prosecute the person, they can proceed to prosecute even without the consent of the victim. But usually the victim is a crucial witness.
Okay.
So where he can directly, frustrate the case, assuming he doesn't want it to proceed, is if somehow he gives testimony that, or he is somehow unavailable, to give evidence. But technically, you cannot stop what he did not start.
Okay.
Technically, because the person prosecuting is the state.
Okay.
Okay. So, Mustafa Jallo, we see you. Good morning to you too.
Good morning.
And his question is, why is the media not allowed in the court when judgment is in process?
Exactly. I've thought about it.
Yes.
Why?
Well, you see, the legal profession, it's not even very peculiar to a criminal litigation. You see, it's probably, maybe the policy behind it is to avoid, you can imagine the pressure of doing your job on screen. Lawyers are not broadcasters. you know, the pressure of the courtroom, even though it's public, it's like any other place. It's like a theater where doctors don't really expect to do surgery. With the cameraman stand by in the public, you know, it's a court. So it's not contemplated that a lot of time that it should be streamed live. Again, the legal profession is a very traditional system.
Okay.
A very traditional system, and I believe that these values go as far back as what we got from England. Maybe we will change. We can make, the people in the media can advocate for change. Maybe because times have changed, you know, with the introduction of the social media. Maybe it's high time we begin, you know, to allow these things, to allow the world, you know, view these things from home.
Yeah.
But then the arguments here, but as it is today, like for example, the Saraki case, if you remember, the one of, I think on one or two occasions, cameramen were able to stream, and then somewhere along the line, the judge became uncomfortable. So it's not a regular practice.
Sometimes it can be allowed.
Yes. It's not a very regular practice, and because of the nature of the traditional nature of the legal system, you know, it's frowned at. Not that it is written anywhere, but it's frowned at. But then, I think people can make a case, you know, for these things to start being introduced.
All right,
because I know that the Saraki's case, it was in a very rare. Yeah, it was very rare because I know it's very difficult for the courts to let media come in and cover court proceedings.
They can come in and witness and make a report.
Not with cameras.
Yes, but not, you know, but you shouldn't record the court. Indeed, not even cameras, not even recorders don't record the court.
Okay.
Not those cameras. You don't keep a recorder and pick real time what people are saying in court. You know, because there's a lot of theatrics in court, which is only intended for the courtroom.
All right. Thank you. Thank you so much for coming on the show, Barrister Kenfon Neke. And yes, we have to wrap up this particular segment. But thank you so much for coming.
You're welcome.
We've been talking about criminal litigation, and now we want to go on a break. Thank you so much to those that have been trying to call. The phone line has been jamming, but please do keep trying. We are going into another interview segment, so please do stay glued to Tea or Coffee. We'll be right back. Like what you just saw, click the notification bell and remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel for more amazing programs.